Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bog Panda. I was going to have Mike do the intro, but Mike's too lazy to do the intro. And so I have to do the intro yet again for another show. We got an awesome guest. You would have thought Mike could have taken the time to do the intro, but he's not. So here I am. I'm Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram. And with me, doing very little as always.
I am Dr. Mike at Official Pagan on everything. Kelly, it takes a lot. My medical practice takes a lot out of me.
Yeah.
So a retired gentleman such as yourself, can pick up a little bit of the slack there.
Yeah. Okay. Before I introduce our special guest, let me tell our special guest he's not a real doctor. Believe
I'm a
me,
real doctor.
not a real doctor. Anyway, we're super excited to have on Sean Whalen, who we've seen a video from us here recently talking about Crust. He is the writer and director of it. We're going to talk a lot about that. He's done a few other things too. You may be familiar with People Under the Stairs. He was in why is it eluding me now? He was in
Great job, host.
Yeah,
Twister,
I know.
Killing it.
You were in the first episode of Ghosts.
Yeah, but no. Everyone was real excited, but unfortunately I really think it was an artistic choice. They had me in decaying face makeup. And if you look at every single ghost in the entire show, no one is decaying. And I thought I was going to be coming back. They kind of implied I would. And then when the season started, I said, what's going on? And they had, a younger cast, and they also had people with literally no scarring, It was only, and I think they went, oh, we already, how do they establish it? And then I'm supposed to be fine in the next, I don't know. Yeah. I think they boxed themselves in a corner, and I was the guinea pig that got, killed by the scientist.
And Men in Black. Also, that's the one I was struggling to kind of, I don't know why.
That's a very little part. Yeah.
But a cool one.
Yeah. It was supposed to be a great part. I was written as Tommy Lee Jones' assistant. Hilarious part. His name was Dave. He had a full arc. The whole funny scene checking in the aliens by himself, and then whenever Tommy Lee Jones would pour coffee, like be nowhere, and Will Smith would be like, whoa, and all of a sudden I'd show up and I'm tired, like, hey man, what's going on? But I zip in, like I move at the speed of light, but I'm always tired. That was the fun, it was such a great part. And they sealed the deal on a Friday, and by Monday they called and said they wrote it out. So I was like, such a bummer.
I'm doing a great job of bringing up one. Once it just didn't quite work out. I'm done.
This is what happens when you take lead.
Trauma to talk about.
Maybe it was a bit of a mistake that Mike didn't bring us in. Oh well.
For what it's worth, I'm a huge People Under the Stairs fan. This is a People Under the Stairs household.
Oh, really?
My wife loves that movie. We just recently showed it to our nephews. This is a People Under the Stairs household here.
But wouldn't you say it's more of a cult movie?
I would say so. Yeah, I've introduced it to a lot of people. I feel like
that's a cult movie.
Yeah.
To me, when you personally introduce something that a lot of people haven't seen, and haven't heard of, that to me is what a cult movie is, and that's what I want Crust to be 100%. It's you see something. I saw Sleepaway Camp, and I was like, what? We saw it in a theater, and we tried to bring our friends back when it was gone from the theater the week later. And 2 years later, it came out on VHS, and then it was just like bam, 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 just letting all our friends in, because people don't know People Under the Stairs, not like Freddy or not like Scream, And I always called that period. I don't know if you're Bowie fans or not, but when Bowie went to Germany and worked with Eno, and he did Heroes, Low, and Lodger, that little artistic phase of his, before he came back and did Let's Dance and became the Disco King, but I feel like that was Wes Craven, because he did Serpent in the Rainbow, Shocker, and People Under the Stairs,
which are actually my 3 favorite movies of his. So.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but they're the kind of underground one, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like it's like if you go Spike Lee, the cult, people go, oh, she's got to have it, like. That's the cult one. You know what I mean? I feel.
Excellent. Yeah. It so I do wonder. So part of the awesome way we got Sean on is Rebekah Kennedy's been nice enough to join us on the show kind of multiple times. Such a super nice person.
Fantastic.
I was just wondering, kind of with People Under the Stairs and then Rebecca's House Hunting, both of you seem to gravitate towards roles where you don't have a tongue. I was just...
Wait, House Hunting? I didn't know she did a thing with no tongue.
Yes, House Hunting.
I did not know she did a tongueless role. Well, I didn't know that.
You think you know somebody, and then
I know, and then you find out, whoa. You're encroaching on my territory without telling me what's going on.
It was after, so I think it is a little bit riding your coattails. But
well, you know what? They always do the female versions of everything these days, and if there's a female Ghostbuster, there's going to be a female woman with her tongue cut out.
There you go. And on that light note, Mike, how about you lead us off?
Sean already kind of let us a little bit into it. So Crust is your new movie.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you said, because this definitely seems like something that's going to pick up a cult audience. Was that is what you had in mind going into it?
100%. I mean, Felissa Rose, who's big in the horror scene, well known, and she's my producer and one of my dear friends. Kind of was at there at the beginning from 2016, and then we finally circled back to this thing 7 years later or whatever. But what I love about her is that she came up with that phrase, creature feature horror comedy, and I went, I love it. It's very cool. And the journey, we tried to start it our own independently way back when, and then we kind of struggled to get to a different producers, different people trying to do it. I had other friends that moved to Australia and they were going to help us do it. But then what was a bummer was that most of the producers would say, well, don't shoot it in black and white because, we want to sell it overseas and maybe you should take this part off or soften this part because, it's we want it on the shelves of Walmart or Target. And I go, I'm not making it for them. That's not who I'm making it for. So, it's pretty hard when you're talking to investors going, ooh, I want to make my money back. And I go, yeah, but I'm not selling it to a lot of people. I'm saying, but I go, but the people who love it will love it 100%. That is what I think that's what I love about it so much, is that just like with Sleepaway Camp, and just like you say, I'm turning my nephews onto it. I don't think they never heard of Scream. I'm sure they have, but you have to educate them on this, and that's how it goes. And then when I've always fantasized about this in the horror conventions, just sitting there with my Crust creature and signing socks, and I just think people will love it. I showed my Crust. I showed Crust, and I have him right here by my feet. But I showed him, and I can show you guys if you want. But I showed him, and people were just like, "I want a plushie. I want a T-shirt. I want a coffee mug that says Life Socks ... Drink coffee. Life Socks. Then you die." And all these, I was like, "Holy crap!" And people were theorizing about the movie already, And I think I should go into what it's about first, which is it's a lonely guy in a laundromat, ex-child actor who pulls socks from the dryer, uses them to wipe all his bodily fluids, and throws them in a little corner in his sad back office in the laundromat. And one day he gets bullied and he cries onto the socks, and the socks creature slowly come to life, and it becomes Crust, who avenges him, and he's dealing with a new relationship with his new girlfriend, Rebekah Kennedy. He's dealing with Alan Ruck, who just got signed to be, the guy from his old TV show, trying to do a reboot, and dealing with all this stuff because he was hiding out in this little laundromat. And now the whole world's coming in on him. And, already I was just talking to people. They're like, I think it's a fever dream. In the laundry room, the laundromat is not a real place. It's a place in his mind that he did. And I was like, we haven't even come out yet, And I go, that's awesome. The fact that people care enough to even start to make theories already And I think the other part that was really nice of me is when I did a horror convention just recently, Mad Monster Party, so many people came up to my table and they weren't saying, oh, I'm so glad Danny Roebuck's in it, or I'm so glad Rebekah Kennedy's in it, or I'm so glad, Phyllis's in it. They were saying, I can't wait to see this story. And that's what made me excited. They're like, it seems like such a good time. So that's what I want to do, because those are that's a community. When you have a cult film like Rocky Horror Picture Show, that's my wife's cult film. I mean, yes, it's bigger and more well known, but it's still a cult film. There's still plenty of people who haven't seen it, but the people who love it, like, it's a community. It's a community of people, and that's what I think I've learned is that, unless you're going to make Avatar and you have billions and billions of dollars to make it look fantastic, and you don't need to have a complicated story. Avatar 1, the bad guys come in and try to ruin your place. Avatar 2, they come back with a different weapon, but now they have to move to water, and it's very simple, but it's easily digestible for the whole world. This I'm making for, I if I don't have people who hate it, I'm going to be super bummed. Because it's for the fans who have always followed me in my comedy and my horror and always seen me as doing weird kind of creative stuff. That's who it's for,
Well, yeah, and so your Indiegogo is still going. I think we're going to put the, when we're recording this, there's about 16 days left on it. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good indication that you've struck a chord, because that has done really, really well.
Yeah, it has. It's done very well, very fast. And, I'm getting messaged all day long from people who want to be involved in it. They're saying, do you have a DP yet? And, I didn't even do the Indiegogo. I mean, me and my DP have been storyboarding. We just hit our halfway mark in the script today. But he was so smart, because he said, listen, you have to have all this thing figured out, because you've got to get after I do this, then I got to sit with the AD and try to figure out when we're shooting stuff. Then after that, I have to get my actors figured out for rehearsals, and because everybody thinks low budget, bad acting, and obviously I'm an actor director. I don't want that to be the case, and I even said this to a live, last night. I said, come on, people like Clerks, right? They love it. They don't care it's black and white. They love the writing, so nobody sits there and goes, the acting's amazing. That's not what that movie's about. And I said, but for me as an actor director, of course I'm going to make sure the acting's good. I want the acting to be really, really good. And that doesn't mean I compromise the vision of the visuals and things like that. And that's what my DP is helping me with. But, I think that's kind of the focus I have is the acting part, and keeping it, fun and light, and we're not done. It's still very low to make a movie on the money we have. I'd like to get to 100,000. We're at 65 right now. Yep. We're halfway through, and I think we can hit, we only have to hit 35 more, and we've done 65 and half. So, usually at the end of these Indiegogos, I guess there's big plugs. So, we're listening to everybody. And even on the that's what I was saying about the live last night. No one thought that the acting was really. I said, "Am I mean for saying that the acting wasn't good in Clerks?" And they go, "No, it wasn't good. No, it wasn't." And that's fine. That's not what you watch that movie for. But to me, even though I appreciate it, one of my wife's favorite movies, I would say I wouldn't make you watch a movie that was blurry. I wouldn't make you watch a movie that doesn't have good sound. So why would you make me watch a movie that doesn't have good acting? And someone on the live said, listen, no one cares about it as much. And I go, yeah, but I do. And I should, it's gonna be pretty bad if an actor's directorial debut doesn't have good acting. So that's my focus. And I think people are very hungry for something. I mean, Cocaine Bear, everyone was for it, 100%. And my timing of this, and when Cocaine Bear, everyone was so excited for, because I said, look, you're going to go see Cocaine Bear with either really fun people, family or friends, having had a few adult beverages or having had a few adult gummies, or all three. But that's the way you're going to go see that movie, or at home. And everyone's like, yep, of course, because it's fun. And that's what I want. I want you to come home from that party and had your drinks or gummies or whatever, and you're sitting down with your friends and you turn it on, you go, oh, let's watch that. And then you go, oh my God, it's so fun. We have to tell these other guys about it. And the next week you have, or you have another viewing party in a few weeks with your family, and then your family, you know what I mean? And that's the way I found out there was more people who did what we did with Sleepaway Camp. I had no idea until Facebook came out, and I saw these big, Sleepaway Camp fan things. I was like, what? I thought it was only me and my friends, and Mac and Me and those kind of movies. I love those kind of movies. And you see Paul Rudd talking about it all the time. So you just go, wow, people love these kind of movies. I'm not making it to be campy bad. I'm making a good movie, but I think there's layers to it that, it's got more layers than just somebody said, oh, I saw the movie Slacks, it was fun, but it was just, it was light and fun. It's silly light. I have a little more depth to it because I wrote it after I had a depression, and there's a lot of my journey through my depression in there too, but it's still a sock monster that kills people. So don't worry, it's not a big heavy movie. It's still really fun.
And for the Bog Panda fans out there, we might have gotten you an exclusive. I'm getting the sense that the sequel to Crust is going to be Cocaine Crust. So just wait.
You.
I'm sorry. I was able to decipher it.
Yeah, I have to call my lawyer.
That's right. Take it down. Take the video down.
That down. No, it's. I mean, I've written it as a trilogy, so I'd be surprised if we didn't do a sequel based on the interest in just this. Like, I really have to stink bad because people are so excited for it. The only thing that could hurt me, obviously, is the expectation is so high, that people go, well, I thought it was going to, but I'm really going to try to temper that. And, as soon as we're done and we're funded and we start working, I'm just going to back off social media for a while and wait till a trailer drops and stuff. So.
Well, it sure sounds like the prep you're already doing, the kind of people you're involving with it, you're not going to have a problem meeting expectations. I do want to make sure before you go, if you don't mind showing us Crust, I wouldn't mind having a peek.
All right. So let's see. Let's do this. Just right. All right. So this is Crust, and this is him being curious. Happy. He's he has mad eyes. He doesn't speak, but this, being scared, looking around, angry, like I said, curious, like the little dog thing. You look from one side to side. Now, see, I'm not the puppeteer, but I was doing this last night. It's okay. It's okay.
It's all right. Dr. Mike doesn't bite. He's all right.
Yeah, it's okay. Those people aren't scared. But they were saying some mean things about me earlier. No, you're okay.
That's the way Kelly is.
It wasn't meant to be mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we definitely want to make sure. Is there any other role that didn't quite work out for you? We can kind of explore. Since I seem to be on a roll.
Yeah,
Crust you, Kelly the asshole.
So wait, well, I mean, I just showed you the creature. What do you think?
Awesome, love it, love it. I mean, it's kind of adorable, which is
it's supposed to be. It was supposed to be. Well, it came out of people saying to me when I came out of my depression, they were like, you should have had a pet. And I go, a pet? I couldn't even figure out how to put on my shoes in the morning, I was in a horrible shape. And I thought, well, it'd be fun to have a pet that got rid of all my enemies and avenged all my, took care of all my problems. And then I went, oh, and I thought of this idea I had a long time ago where I said, oh, you should do a sock monster in a laundromat. Just one line to a pitch of a bunch of ideas. And I thought, oh, that's a really good idea. And I thought it was going to be a sock guy, like a big, like Toxic Avenger, big guy all covered in socks at first. And then I thought, nah, Eric Porn, who actually built it, he's the special effects for Teen Wolf, and now he's on the new Walking Dead. He was like, yeah, I think it's like Oogie Boogie with, just Oogie Boogie's top half. And I thought, oh, that's a good idea. And, I knew exactly at that point what I wanted it to look like, and he made the puppet. And then when I gave it to the Muppeteer, she's a real Muppeteer that's worked with Disney Channel and the Muppets. The way she, like what I just did is compared to what it's really going to be. It's going to be it can do so much more than that. So,
yeah.
So we're going to get a lot of Crust merchandise. You had mentioned earlier people throwing ideas at you.
I mean, that's the thing, the fear is, there's my producer and friend Ricky D. Logan is kind of like, don't burn it out too early. And then other, I have business people saying, if people want it, give it to them. But then you're kind of like, I don't want to, do I just build a page with all that merch that they're talking about and I drop it on the day of the trailer? Or do you know what I mean? Like, do I put some now in the Indiegogo so people buy it? Like the guy who suggested the coffee mug, said life socks, drink coffee, a plushie, a towel, one woman's, a t-shirt, hats. I mean, it was crazy. Everybody was all saying, I want this, I want that, I want that. And I was like, oh my God, because that's what I was thinking. My Shantae Delon, she was on the comedy show, The Detroiters on Comedy Central. And she was like, you have no idea. People are going to be wearing that stuff tonight. And I think people will be walking around with Crust merch. And, we're going to see some cosplay of people walking around with their little baskets. You know what I mean? And if I could do that, I'd be thrilled, because that would mean the people who come up to my table are not just there to talk about People Under the Stairs, or Rob Zombie's Halloween. I'm dying to have something new hit the right chord. It's like Paul McCartney for years has been trying to write a hit song that people love and know more than any Beatles song. But when you go to his concerts, as soon as he starts a Beatles song, the crowd goes nuts, and they play his new stuff, which I like a lot of it. It's just not the same, People want what they want. So if you can make an impact, like, Felissa for the first time has had a huge impact on her because of Terrifier 2, but she's done a lot of movies before that just still people come up and do Angela, but, and I get Roach, and I've done other horror ones, but I want one to like land. And I really think I might be onto something. I don't know. I hope so. I have to believe I can. But now that you saw that creature, and he is adorable. You're supposed to love it. You're supposed to love him, and then but he gets angry and does mean things to people who are not nice to me.
Well, please explain to him that I didn't mean anything by my initial questions on the show.
Well, he knows. Rebekah told us where you live, and
great.
All I know is that the basket's empty, so I can't promise anything.
Not good.
It was
really appreciate you taking some time with us tonight. Mike, do you want to make your big merch pitch before we wrap it up?
Oh, do it.
I just want all the merch. If we can get a Rebekah Kennedy action figure in there somehow too.
Ooh, I like that idea. Well,
I mean, the cereal.
We're doing a Crust action figure, but down the road, we'll probably do a Rebekah Kennedy action figure. I mean, she's going to be. It's what I love about that is her and I never get to play romantic leads ever. So the love story is her and me, and that's just something you don't get all the time. So very excited to what people said to me is, yeah, but you guys are what most people look like in terms of people who have relationships. You're not the beautiful models or whatever. So it's nice to see, normal, regular-ish looking people, so that's really nice. But yeah, I like that idea. I definitely would put that in the works. I really think we're going to see some we're going to see some Rebekah Kennedy cosplaying next year sometime when Crust comes out. So I hope so anyway. I think people will like to be here. So, but I would like to say, we are not done. Here's my pitch: Indiegogo.com/Crust, or Indiegogo.com, and put in Crust, and you'll get to the page. If you do a special thanks, and that means your name is on credit of history making film, because it's the first time that Alan Ruck and I have been acting together since we rode in the truck on Twister. So that's something pretty exciting. And if I get to 1,000 of those special thanks, I think we're over 100 right now. If I get 1,000 of those in the final 2 weeks, the fans have all voted. I said I would do a man wax or body paint or a dress and drag and do a drag show. They all want me to do a drag show. So you get a fun video of me being made over in drag and doing a drag show if I get 1,000 of those special thanks. So $25 to support independent filmmaking. That's not a big, that's a dinner at Applebee's, right? So we're trying to get to 1,000 of that, and that would be really fun.
Well, we'll include the link in the description to the video, folks. Make it nice and easy for you to get there. Get those special thanks. Let's get them over 1,000. But anybody who's watching, don't put any money in on the, hey, come up with your design thing. That's covered. We've got it. We put our money into that. So no need to do that.
Yeah.
But get that special thanks going.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be me, Rebekah, and the costumer figuring out which is which, so, so question. So you submitted a design, I assume.
Yeah, we actually submitted, we have a t-shirt shop for Bog Panda and a variety of t-shirts. We shared that with Rebekah to look through. And so there's a variety of things on there.
And so I asked some other people yesterday that did the same thing, but you don't care that it's in black and white, right?
Not at all.
Okay, so that doesn't, because I was thinking, maybe the designers are going to be sad that like their colors don't pop. The colors will be there in the sleeve of the DVD, but that's good. That's good to know, because I was concerned that some people would be like, but I'm glad that both designers I've talked to do not care. So that's good.
Well, and as you can kind of tell from Dr. Mike, we translate well into black and white anyway.
Yeah. You just need like the like just little wispy clouds around you. You'll look like a floating head in a in a like in Disney.
This is brighter than I usually keep it in here.
Not lying.
I feel like you're not only running a podcast, but you're landing planes safely. Yeah, runway 7's open. Anyway, Sean.
Well, once again, Sean, really appreciate your time. Folks watching, get down, hit that link. Concentrate on the fan side.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I will give Rebekah my best for you guys.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bog Panda.